Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be showing you how to use a wood burning tool. The wood burning tool actually burns into wood. As you can see, I've kind of started a project here that I'm actually burning with wood. It comes with 4 different points. This one is called the shading point, and it creates smooth and even shading and subtle or dark or bold shading. This one is the cone point and is used to burn fine lines onto the wood. And then this one is the universal point, and it performs, just all general wood burning techniques. The one that I have inside the burner now is called a flow point, and it's best for like curves, dots, details, cursive handwriting techniques. So I'm actually going to basically just use the flow one to create the letters that I'm actually writing. So in whatever you're drawing on, like if you are going to be doing, I would recommend that you put the letters that you want wood burned or the picture you want burned onto the wood first, unless you're a very experienced drawer. So as you can see, I put on my wood already, I put eat, drink, and be merry. And then I have a little vine up here. So I'm going to show you how this works. You need to use a little bit of firm pressure as you are creating this. So you just kind of push and move it in a slow motion along the letters that you're doing. It's actually a really neat tool. And if you think, do you smell burning wood? Yes, you will smell the actual burning wood because it is actually engraving into the wood. And if you can also see, as I'm doing, you can actually see the smoke coming up a little bit from it because that is the actual wood that is actually burning as I etch this into the wood. And when you do change the different blades or points on the wood burning tool, it's best that you turn it off before doing so and use a pair of pliers to remove them because they are very hot and can burn your hand. So as you can see, I have done my first word on my board that I'm making. This is actually a little serving tray. So I'm also going to do the next word. And again, you can see the smoke coming up. And you can use this, sometimes you need to go over more than once, just depending on how much pressure you're actually using. I have been going over each part of mine at least twice just to get it to the darkness that I want. The more you go over that area, the darker it will get. So that's another task that you need to see how dark you want something as you're making it. So again, I'm just basically writing over the letters that I am. And the harder I push, the more darker it does become. Okay, I'm actually going to turn this off now, and I'm actually going to put in the other point so I can show you how that point works as well, just to the fact that I'm going to be doing some finer lines. I'll finish the rest of it later with the other point. So I'm going to actually turn it off, and it does come with a little holder that you can put it in. When the points are hot, don't set them in anything that is plastic because they will burn the plastic for sure. So I'm actually taking the hot point out right now. And if you notice, I am using a pair of pliers, and that they actually screw in as well. So I am using a pair of pliers and unscrewing the point. And I'm going to actually set it on this little piece of glass I have up here. Next, I'm actually going to put in the cone point, as we call it. And again, I am using the pliers to do this just because the tool itself is hot as well. And you have to give it a couple of minutes for the next point that you put in to get hot if you are changing the points out, as I am right now. So this is the next point that's in. This is the cone point. So I'm actually going to move this over a bit here because I'm actually going to come down to the very, very bottom of my serving tray that I'm doing right here. So I'm actually going to use this cone point to do the fine lines of the word down here. Make sure you do turn it back on. And these, with this point, it's not as wide as the other point that I used a few minutes ago, which was the flow point. So this one is actually very fine detail. So it might be a little bit harder to actually see what I am etching down here with the wood burning. But again, these are the fine lines. And again, you want to put as much pressure as you can so as you can see, it's very small detailed with the fine point. It's not as bold as the other. And again, go over, a couple times on each letter so that way, or whatever you're burning, so that way it does get accented as darker. Because the more times you go over it, the darker it does become. Okay, so now I'm going to switch out this point, and I'm actually going to use the universal point and show you how that works as well. So again, remember to use the pliers, remember to shut it off because these points do get very hot. So now I'm picking up the other point. I'm actually going to screw it in as well. Turn it back on. So I'm actually going to demonstrate on the top part up here. You can see I've already started a little bit up here just to give you an idea of how this point works. So again, this is the universal point on here. I'm going to let this heat up for a few seconds. And then again, heat up for a few seconds. The universal point, again, you can basically perform all of the burning techniques that you need with it. You can make lines, you can make patterns, you can make it so it makes wider spots. So as you can see, I'm actually making some leaves on my part right here that I'm working on. So I'm kind of using it to shade a little bit into the leaf area. As you can see, it's a little bit hard to see, I know. But, and again, it does get very, very hot. So just be real careful. You don't ever touch the top of the metal because it can burn you. So this one I'm kind of accenting and making like the little grooves inside the leaves. So that's how that point actually works. I'm actually, then let me show you how the other point works as well. I'm actually going to take this one out. So again, this was the universal point. The next point I'm going to put in is called the shading point. So if you have something that needs to be shaded, you can actually do it, and it's a wider surface. So this one's actually going to take a few minutes longer to get warm. just once you put in it. But if you start it with it, then it does easily, you know, get hot. But like, again, it takes a few seconds for it to get hot. And it does come with a little stand. While we're waiting for it to get hot, I can kind of show you how it sits in the stand. The stand basically is very simple. So the part sits like that, and it just holds the stand like that while you're waiting for it to get hot. And again, you don't want it to touch anything that's plastic because it will burn whatever it does touch due to the heat. So on this one, I'm going to kind of just do a leaf here just so you can kind of see how it does. So it's more of a flat surface. So that one's kind of a little bit different there. So you do need to be very precise onto what you're doing, because if not, it does stay. It's not like you can go back and erase it or anything like that. So again, this is a wood burning technique, and I am making a tray. I hope you liked my video. So I want you to, if you can, I want you to subscribe and hit that bell so the next time I make a video, you know when one comes out. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.